What is up, people, and welcome back to the channel. So we are going to start getting back into the rhythm of making videos, and guess what, the booster's back in town, so we can start doing some more race prep. I think the last time we worked on it was race prep, but this time my GoPro is not going to shit itself, so I'm putting a brand new SD card in there, and I am tempted to get another one from wired GoPro remotes, wired GoPro, is that what it is? Hang on, let me have a look. This is who I use, this is who most people use. Wiredremotes.com. I'm thinking of upgrading this. This is a 4. Well, I want the one that's got the telemetry and stuff. And he says he'll do me a deal on a full kit. So I'm just trying to locate the pennies for that. Then I'll have 2 cameras in the car. Right, anyway, so what we've got planned, booster wise. Full nut and bolt check again. Check the pads out, check the pads, see what we've got left on there. Take the drums off, check the shoes, because they are only standard shoes in the back. And these are non-vented hubs, and I've took all the fins off. So we just want to check that everything is still where it's supposed to be. But I don't really use the back brakes. They're wound right off. I've got adjustable pedal box, it's wound off. And a bias, it's locked off. Back brakes on one of these, you don't use them really. Now in a space frame, you will use them because you're going to be going a shit ton faster. So what we need to do, we need to get my new fuel tank in, which is here. Owens fabrication. I'd like to have had a custom one made from my mate at Price Engineering. But this tank is just ready on the shelf and I needed it. And it's a really good tank. I mean, all the Miglias run the tank that we've got in here. Let me just show you what we've got. Put this on here. This is just going to end in tears, isn't it? I'm having a new boot lid. Anyway, so this is a Miglia fuel tank. This is their 20 litre Miglia tank. Foam filled. Oh, this tank is in really good condition. Foam's lovely and blue. She's a little bit dirty, but she's only ever had good fuel in it. And then she gets drained, so there's nothing eating the foam away. But this is Miglia 20 litre. And what I ended up was getting was people asking for a bigger one for the Libra class, which is that one. And they say that is a 8-gallon. This is a 5, I think. 5, which is about 20 litres, and that's about 38 litres. Something around about there. Well, I'm using about a litre a minute from what we can roughly gather. Just under. So I need more juice because I want to start using this on longer races. If you notice now, I'm trying to get out in this car as much as I can. So we've got Castle Coombe, a couple of weeks. Then I'm away for the next Brands Hatch because I'm on holiday. Then we are fastest mini in the world. And then we've got Croft. So we've got to crack on. Got to get this car ready, a couple of weeks turnaround. So we're going to get working. Well, first of all, we want to get that tank in. Because I need to get the old one out because it's sold. Because Matt from Fab, he's had my old tank. You've seen the video of the bits he's made for me. So we've done a bit of a deal on that. But everything under here is all ready to go. It's all clean, dry. There is a lot of oil down there still. I got as much as I could off. But yeah, right, so let's have a look at this fuel tank. Hopefully, I think this is just a touch wider. So what you're going to see is the way my fuel tank is mounted. It's different to most. Most you have a carbon boot floor. Well, I haven't. Mine's actually mounted off the bottom of the subframe. You'll see this is old school MIG spec subframe, fully welded with the twin CDS bars. Well, my tank sits an awful lot lower than most. So we're going to try and get that tank in there. I did have the thought of moving the swirl pot and the fuel pumps to that side and move the tank over to this side. That way we're offsetting more of the fuel weight to there. Because that much by that much by that much of fuel weighs a lot more than this little contraption. So if I can move that to the driver's side and move the tank to the left, we're offsetting the weight more. But as you can see, my support brackets are more to the right. So what we'll have to do is get the tank out, probably take these out as well, and just fanny around basically, just see what we can do, where we can move it. If we can do it over there, fine. Because I've got all the AM fittings and line, and to be honest, these are a few years old now. I think these are like 5 years old, these lines. So they are overdue a bit of a refresh on the lines. Right, let's whip this tank out, shall we? Right, so what we have to do with my car is, because I don't run a boot floor in this car. Okay, what's this? I have this big diffuser. Oh, for fuck's sake. Sorry about that. Oh, sticks and everything. I run this big diffuser. And what we'll do is, once the tank's out, I'll put it back in and show you why. This is ABS plastics, by anyway. By anyway? What kind of word's that? By the way. But it's 2 of them. Right? And I cut one in half, and then cut the middle out of the other one, joined them together. That's why I've got 4 of these. You normally only get 2. So it's a bit expensive, but I got sponsored one, and I only had to buy one. So, ta-da! So we've got to take this off, because this diffuser, for an active diffuser, for active air to work, I think you need to be going like over 115 mile an hour, is it 120 mile an hour, something like that. So this car, we were only doing 122 around Silverstone. She's not running top, should we say. But the active aero wouldn't really have been doing much. But this is more to protect this, not to actually give me active aero. People who put big diffusers on the back of Minis, it's a waste of time. Unless you're doing 130, 140, 150 miles an hour, that's not going to do shit. So you see people with these big diffusers that think at 50 miles an hour it's going to be sucking the car to the ground. It ain't going to do nothing. For that much, you need to be going that fast for the air to split. Because what you're doing is, the car, you have a splitter at the front, a flat floor, and a diffuser. The splitter at the front separates the air and only allows a small amount of air under the car. And as the air is channeled under the car, it picks up speed, right? Because it's a smaller volume. And as it comes to the back end here, which is why you have this rake up, it tries to spread the air. It tries to pull the air apart, but it can't. So what it does is it pulls the car down. Because what you're trying to do is, say you've got a litre of air. Don't know what a litre of air is in technical terms for air. You're trying to put that litre of air and then expand it, which is what gives you downforce. Now you've got to be going shitting quick for that to work. So this is to protect this. The spoiler actually creates more downforce than this. The spoiler actually made a rather large difference, I'm not going to lie. And that is from Rogue 7. I think it's in California. Really good spoiler. Really good. Right, let me get this done. And I'll... you'll see.
Hello?
Hello.
Food.
Okie dokie.
I have to bring the dog in the garden with me because she can't trust him.
Fucking hell. What have I just done with that? Honestly, oh, there it is. Where the fuck is the fucking... Oh, there it is. think I lost one of my diffuser bolts while we were out and about round Snitterton, Silverstone. Oh no, this because there's only 3 in there. It's supposed to be 4. Our Silverstone is a very wet race. We're very dirty. I have cleaned a lot of it off, but yeah. Oh, she's a bit dirty. See, that's how long mine is. She's quite, it's quite long, but she fits just inside the subframe. So what we need to do is get the fuel line off here and the fuel line off the bottom of the tank. Get our overflow. That's the overflow, and at the back you've got a rollover valve. And then we'll get it out. It's all on rig nuts. So it's pretty simple to get out. Is that a rig nut? I think it is. Right. Oh yes, we're going to take this off here. And then we're going to put a blank cap on. So we don't get any dust inside this tank. Because my high pressure pump comes out of this tank. So, because on this system there's a pre-filter in the facet pump. Then there's another filter here. Then there isn't another filter until my high pressure pump. So everything that goes in there is filtered, right? Because the return comes back to here as well. So everything's filtered all the time. See, I've got all these nice new black fittings as well from Torx, and all new black hose, so that might get done over the winter if I can get away with just using what I'm using now, because I don't want to start messing around with all sorts of shenanigans when I ain't got time. Let's get some cutters here. This overflows just for when I spill fuel everywhere, which I do every time I put fuel in it. Hopefully we can get this out without taking the roll bar out. And hopefully the new one fits without hitting the roll bar. MNAF's moved the fittings forward on his new tank to clear his roll bar. Well, this is an old Miglia roll bar, so it's not exactly the same as his. One more fitting. We might get a bit of fuel droppage. So try under the button. To be honest, I could do with another one of them end caps, but I only got one. I did have like 4 of the bloody things. What the frick I've done with them? Yeah, we're losing a bit of fuel here. Yeah, it's all got to come out anyway. There we go. And drain out for a bit. I'll show you the underneath. Which is why I do run the diffuser. This is my fuel system, see? This is the sump of the Owens tank. So this pipe comes off there, goes up to my, you're going to see it there, the facet lift pump. And then those are the fuel lines that come through the car. Now they are going to get changed. I'm going to run them through the old exhaust tunnel down there. Because to be honest, they don't need to be in the car anymore because I don't run the exhaust in the tunnel. So we can move them into there. But we still need this area covered by something. See? Subframe. Right. Drag this out, shall we? Try not to fuel everywhere. There ain't a lot coming out. You know, it's going to bite in the ass. Hopefully I can get it out. Roll bar off. Doesn't look like he wants to. There we go. Get the feeling that roll bar's going to have to come off. There you go. So it doesn't want to. I cannot remember fitting the roll bar. Might be able to just drop that link off and get it done. It hasn't got a link on the other side because I took it off because it was bloody wet. That might give us that bit we need. Oh yeah. Ta-da! She's out. We need to finish draining this off first. I'll get that done. Can you see the sump? Right, so as you can see, that's my framework. Fuel pump, Bosch 044, 1 litre surge tank, filters, adapters, bits and bobs. But I have got a bigger fuel pump for this when it goes onto the, well, however we decide to go, supercharged, turbo, whatever, to get us into the more reasonable horsepower mark that we need to be. Right, let's chuck this tank in. Chuck the tank in. And let's just have an idea of if it will actually go in. Yeah? Perfect fit, look. It's like a freaking dream. I'm gonna have to take that roll bar off now. It needs to drop in front first. We're just too tall. Unless I make these brackets a touch shorter. I hear you say. But we'll take the roll bar off for now. Because I'd like to be able to make it so the tank can come in and out easily. You know what I mean? You have to take the tank out, you don't want to strip everything bloody out, do you? I think there was 17 mils. Yeah. I'll move you so you can see a little bit better. There you go, look. get so many people ask me, is that carbon roll bar? No. It's just wrapped in carbon because I had some carbon wrap and ta-da! Massive bolt in there. I mean, this thing don't weigh nothing. Large as a feather. Yeah. Spacers. So now it'll go in. Right. I hope. I don't want to be cutting in front of myself enough. Oh yeah. Something might be in a slightly different position. Oh no. The AM fitting. So the AM fitting sticking out the front is hitting on the brackets that my fuel pumps sit on. I don't really want to cut them off. It's literally just touching. There's no way of getting it past. And that is touching there. A smidgen. My dear Watson, I hear you say you do not want to fit today. So the sump is hitting my bracket and the AN fitting is hitting the other part of the bracket. The fuel tank is hitting the side of this mount for these. But other than that, it's not raining outside. This foot on the tank is in line with the bracket support. This one is not. We are fingers width away. But she fits. Well, she doesn't technically know, but she fits. If you understand what I mean. Brute force and ignorance is not really what you want to be doing with a fuel system, because you'll get a hole in something. So we have contact Heather, and then we have contact there, and contact, I don't know whether you're going to see, well, this fitting here, but this foot lines up ish, and this foot is ish a couple of inches away. But what I might do is make another one of these that comes out the other side, because the tank is fully supported by this, and I'll leave this one on. So if you ever want to go back to a MIG tank, bosh, holes there. Right. Right, so what I've done is I've dropped this down out of the way. And the tank technically fits. We're off on that foot, and we're off on that foot, so technically it don't fit. But it's in the hole, and the sump is, it's just touching that side, and it's just touching this bracket here. Well, this one I don't use anymore. I only use this, which goes that to there, so I can cut this one off. It's got no any structural gain to it, but the tank is sitting a little bit further this way, so what I might have to do is remanufacture all the bracket that holds fuel pumps and that, because the front nuts for that used to go on there. Well, it's pretty much impossible. So I might have to offset this more to the left and try and go either side of. So I have a new aluminium plate that fits in here, back down to there, to really hold this. That way we've got a little bit more space. Instead of moving the tank that way, it keeps it a little bit more central. I just need to make sure this fits in this hole. I've got plenty of thick aluminium that'll do the job. Yeah, well, that's where I'm going to leave this one anyway, because it's 9:15 in the evening and I've got to be up early in the morning for work. So yeah, it's in. It's going to be tight with the roll bar on the top of these fittings, but we'll make it work, won't we? We'll make it work. Right, booster work is going back on. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you later, people.